Just as in Africa black people converted to Islam to avoid becoming a slave, in America black people converted to Christianity in the hopes that this move would free them from the bonds of slavery. The truth is, white slavers did not want black people to convert to Christianity for fear of the same. We have shared with you time and time again that the Akawu teaches that survival commands people to do whatever it takes to survive. And people will, more often than not, choose the path of the least resistance. Many slaves ran from the plantation despite knowing the consequences of their actions. If the slaves were captured, they would be severely punished, but if they could escape to friendly territory, they could live as self-emancipated people. But living in these self-emancipated communities of people, they were under constant threat of re-enslavement and war. The thought was that if they could just become free legally, they would have a better, less threatening, standard of living. According to the book, The History of the Negro Church by Carter G. Woodson, there was an unwritten law that believers should not be enslaved. Christianity was also attractive to slaves because, as the missionaries taught them, slavery was against the laws of God, man, and nature. In fact, some slave insurrections were motivated by biblical text. It's popular today for the conscious community to criticize Christianity because of its role in slavery, but at one time the Bible was the only thing some slaves were permitted to read. Sojourner Truth organized armed anti-slave raiding patrols, and she was a Christian preacher that gave the order to shoot to kill. Nat Turner was a Christian that spoke directly to God, and God told him to kill the enemy. Denmark Vesey was a Christian that had a plan to free all the slaves in Charleston by killing all the white enslavers. Very few whites went to war on behalf of black people, but many right Christians pleaded with their brethren to free the slaves. It was a weak-ass attempt to free black people from bondage, but it was an attempt nevertheless. If you're going to remain a Christian and believe that the Bible is the Word of God, do as the Honorable Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad said. Study the Bible from a black theology perspective. If you're not a black Hebrew Israelite or don't believe in the Torah, don't forget that more black Bible believers went to war with a white man in America than did Muslims or black conscious community individuals. In fact, black Bible believers may have done more to hurt us, but I venture to say that they also did more to help us in the past 2 centuries than did any other group of black people in America. This article was written by Daku Akabo wa Akatu.